many times I forgot to press record. You millennial?
Zillennial, you said?
Yeah, that in between.
To a certain age.
Yeah. Cause you work out every single day, don't you?
No.
Oh, you don't?
Girl,
No. What you work? I'm like, why is this not a real thing?
It's not a real podcast. What's going on, beautiful people? We are back with another episode of Not a Real Podcast.
Where the conversations are real, but the podcast ain't.
You already know. And on today, we are going to get right into it. Listen, we got this amazing, talented woman who has been killing it all over the city.
She's beautiful, too.
Listen, she's an actor, model,
singer,
influencer,
dancer,
all of the above, okay?
Director.
So, let her tell it. Dang.
She is her.
And yeah, so let's start clapping right now for the one and the only Aaliyah Weston. Let's go. How are you doing today?
I'm doing wonderful. Hi, guys.
First off, I need that jacket. That mug is cold. Like,
I think I got this from one of those. They do it all the time in St. Louis, but
like
a resale. They do like a pop-up resale. Yes,
I've never been to a pop-up actually.
Really,
you missing out because that's where you get like the one of a kinds that nobody else has, and they're cheaper.
I just started getting into fashion because I feel like sometimes I should have been from New York.
Jay,
like,
please.
I'm a white tee and just
you
cargo
don't know how to put
pants,
no clothes on. We not even. That ain't even why we're here. That's not why we're here.
Man,
Mr. Put it on.
Man, I call him Geronimo Greg because he if
Geronimo
it's one,
Greg, you a hater.
Two
man.
pieces on one hanger. That's he just real simple.
He a real two-piece.
I got a lot to worry about. You see how good all of these cameras looking? I had to do all of this.
Thanks to Ben. Give it up for Ben.
Let's clap it up for Ben. Shout out to Ben. Y'all go see all this BTS stuff. It's gonna be really great. That's Mr. Ben doing it.
Yeah.
The Ghanaian sniper is what I'm gonna call him.
You know what?
He's literally Ghanaian.
Anywho.
But he dope. All right, focus back on the subject at hand, Miss Aaliyah. So let's get it right. A lot of people do. How many people call you Aaliyah?
You know what's so crazy? I immediately was going to be like, I'm so appreciative of you saying my name right. Nobody says my name right.
Of course.
Were you named after the
singer? And people don't know that her name is pronounced Aaliyah.
Really?
Yes.
Now that one I didn't know.
No, they don't. And they've just called her Aaliyah. But it's funny because she has interviews of her being like Muhammad Aaliyah. And I always tell people the same thing. I'm like, Muhammad Aaliyah.
Because of the double A's.
Yeah.
I like it. I like it. Okay.
Twin.
Well, let's start off with telling the people like just who you are. Tell us a little bit about you. And then from there, we'll branch off and find some more stuff. So just tell us a little bit about your personal life, how old you are, your family, all of that. Let's start there.
Ooh, okay. I feel like, the first day when you have to
I know, right?
Well, I'm a 22-year-old, all the things you guys said.
Run it back. They was in the bathroom when we said this, but they're here now.
I'm tripping, but I'm a 22-year-old actor, singer, model, dancer, entrepreneur, influencer. It's okay. I feel like I'm like...
all of the things.
All of it. Talk about it.
But yeah, I do all those things. I am born and raised in St. Louis, Missouri.
Nice.
Most people don't know that.
And what school did you go to?
Oh, you know we gotta ask that.
Of course. It's so funny. I grew up we were just talking about this, my whole family, but I grew up on the north side, but elementary school, I went to Jefferson and I went to Ames VPA. So I started dancing at like 6 years old. I really just, everything my sister did, I wanted to do. So like she would dance, she would act, she would do all the things. And I was like, I could do that. That's my girl. So I started that. By middle school, I started going to GCAA. So Grand Center Arts Academy. Mm-hmm. That was like that was my creme de la creme, dancing, acting, doing all that. And then by high school, my mom was like, you know what? I want to like take you out the hood. And I was like, okay. And so she took me to Parkway West.
Nice.
Which is, I went there from 10th grade and then graduated early my senior year. So
CJ, she graduated early. She didn't get kicked out. There's a difference.
I graduated early.
There's a difference.
I skipped the third grade.
Ooh, period.
Come on, stop playing with me. And then was the fourth grade spelling bee champ.
The third grade. They moved you to fourth because you were raising hell in third.
But I made good grades while raising hell.
But it was bad for me too. I was very talkative. And you would get in trouble for being talkative in school. And I thought that was always like something ridiculous to me.
They just didn't understand us.
like
I used to tell people I was misunderstood.
No, you were really bad, Jay. making bombs and stuff in school. We weren't making bombs. We were just social human beings.
Like we were really social human beings, and I would get in trouble for that all the time. Like I think that was a big reason my mom took me out of Grandson Arts Academy, because I would get my work done and then talk. Hey girl, what you want to do?
What are we doing?
What are we doing?
Exactly.
I'm bored. I'm done, and I wasn't being challenged like I felt, like she felt like I could have been. And by I think high school, she just was like, okay, let's see where this all goes. But I knew I never really wanted to go to college, so that never happened. And by 18 years old, I moved to Atlanta, and I started doing film and television randomly. I did a movie with John Cena, Laurel Howery.
What was the name of the movie?
It's called Vacation Friends. And that's the funniest.
Where can we find that?
It's on Hulu. It's a Hulu movie. They actually have two movies.
I'm watching it tonight.
Please. I'm like, so I always tell people, I'm like, you blink, you miss me. But
it's okay. It's still
I was there.
Long as you're on them credits.
I'm like, I was
baby.
there.
Yes.
And that's all that matters.
Counts.
I have no lines, but you see me wave.
That's all that
You see me
matters.
wave at the camera, you see me there. But that was actually a wild set experience for me, because I was supposed to be there for 1 week. Like 1 week, play a wedding guest. By the second week, they were like, hey, dude, can you play her cousin? We got on set and they were like, hey, we want you guys to sit here. One random day, they set us in front of the camera that they wanted to be the cousins of the main character. And Yvonne Orgy played the main character.
First off, that's a wild name. I love it.
You know who that is, though, right?
That's Molly from Insecure.
From Easter.
Oh, that's her name?
Yeah. Yvonne Orgy.
I never got the chance to watch Insecure, though.
Really?
I know
You
about
gotta
it.
watch
I know
it, Jay. You
Molly,
need
but
to
I just
binge
never
watch
watched it.
Like,
That's crazy.
she's so
She
talented.
be dressing her
She
ass.
does. She does.
I feel like you was
G.
trying to throw shade at me talking with the Garanimals, and we trying to circle back around to that, but we gonna keep going.
Yes, and she's a Sag like my mom, so I got adjusted to seeing her on set. I'm like, she's just my mom. Like, think of her like my mom.
Set mom.
She
I love
seems
it.
cool in real life.
She is cool.
Yeah.
She's definitely cool. And I was not expecting John Cena to be so cool. Like one day on set, he was walking in front of me, and no, you can't see him, right? But one day he was walking in front of me, and he just turned around like randomly and was like, "How are you? How have you been today?" And I was like, "Does he know
like
it's John
that.
Cena talking to me?"
Yeah.
And like every day he would leave off set and be like, "Thank you, thank you, thank you" to
Yeah.
everybody. And I'm like, okay, John Cena. Like, okay, we get
I
it.
love that.
You're
I
John
love
Cena.
when people are, you look at them like being up here, but they're still just regular people that treat people well. Like, it means a lot.
It does.
Yes.
And he was so kind on that. So everybody was. And it's funny because me and Lil Rel are mutuals on the internet since that movie. And so sometimes him and, oh God, that's his best friend, Tiffany Haddish.
Okay.
They invited me after their comedy show they had here to go to Shisha.
Yeah.
And we were all there together, and he was just like, how does it feel now? Because he had seen the transition of me going just from that actor on that set to now this influencer. He was like, how does it feel? And he was like, you got it. And he was so comforting and made it feel good because it was people coming up to me. They were coming up to the section to say hi to Tiffany and him. And then people would be like, that's her.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then he was
you.
like, how does it feel? And I'm like,
So how did it feel?
It was so wild because I'm like, in my head, these are the celebrities. I'm here with them.
Yeah.
And he was like, we here with you. So it was so dope. It was so dope. And it was like the start of just every day. It was something new. Like TMZ. It was so wild because it was just back to back to back.
See, we got so much to get into just off of that. I got so many questions. But before we go too deep into it, because I want to know, like, as far as personal life and all of that. So you said you went to GCAA. You wanted to do everything your older sister did.
Yes.
And so how many of y'all is it?
Ooh, okay. So there's 4 sisters on my mom's side. And my dad's side, there's 5 of us. But it's always just been me and my mom and my sisters. So my older sister, she's 26, 27. She's going to kill me. And then I'm 22. My younger sister is 16. And then the one under her is 10.
Is she 16?
Yes. That's insane.
Oh,
just thinking about the fact that seen her from a baby to now 16 years later, because that means I grew 16 years. It's overwhelming, but it's also like they're so talented, they're so beautiful, like, and they make me want to just go harder. Yeah, because it's like they've watched all of this. Yeah, they've watched everything. Blood. Like I used to put a mason jar, or I used to fill a mason jar up with sand, put a selfie stick in it, raise the selfie stick, put like a sheet behind me, and like start filming videos. You've been doing this for a long time.
She was born to do it.
That's important. No, like that's really important. And I'm sorry, I know you was from the accent. That's an important thing, because being content creators and things like that, people always think it was just a overnight kind of thing. But like you said, you were putting sand in mason jars on selfie sticks to start your content creation. It wasn't just look, I'm here, I'm in front of the camera with the 4K and all of that. You started with mason jars and sand.
And an iPhone 4.
And an iPhone 4. What number are we on now?
16, 17.
I stopped
iPhone
keeping
16.
up. I don't even know.
So
and you started with an iPhone 4.
That, yeah.
Wow. There's no excuses right here, ladies and gentlemen. No excuses. iPhone 4 and a glass of sand.
A glass of
sand. And they've been around for so long of me like going through these experiences. So they would hear the "shut up, I'm filming, you ain't be quiet." And I was so serious about nothing. Like I would do morning routines, night routines. Nobody cared what I was doing in the morning.
You was doing the getting ready with me's before getting ready with me's. Come on.
Wasn't even a thing. And I was miss YouTube to death. It would be people at school like, okay, girl, like, until one day it would start blowing up. Like I had 5,000 subscribers on YouTube, and I was the bomb.com at school. You couldn't tell me nothing. I was like, yeah. And they like, this is what I do. I'm like, what are you guys talking about? And that had happened when I was still going to Grand Center. So by the time I went to Parkway West, it was girls that would come up to me and be like, oh, you that one girl on YouTube. And I'd be like, there's no way they know this. There's no way. But it's so crazy because the real thing I've learned so much is that everybody's watching. Yeah. Even when you think they aren't, they are.
Yeah.
That's the word. That's a word right there.
Even when you think they aren't, they are.
So outside of, you wear many hats. But to me, I feel like the biggest one may be the influencer. Correct me if I'm wrong. Is that your biggest hat that you wear?
I definitely believe so.
Yeah. Yes. Okay. So let's talk about that, which I'm really excited about because I feel like I'm going to learn so much from you because I'm trying to tap more.
The career part now. I like this. Hold on. Let me scroll up.
Really, Jay? I'm trying to tap more into that as well. Yeah. So can you kind of speak to how you branched off into more of the influencer role? What types of clients have you worked with? What's been your biggest payout so far?
Get into all of it. Let's start. Hold on, you just asked like 3-4 questions.
I did because I knew you was gonna jump in.
How did you get started? I ain't gonna do it.
How did I get started? So what nobody really knows is I have blown up from so many things prior to the thing that like blew me up. Yeah. So I used to do feminine archetype videos, like where I would just be like, this is the type of woman you are. It was so wild because I'm 17. You don't know what type of woman people are, but I have always been so interested in psychology, which a lot of people don't know. So like picking my own brain was a big reason that I gained so many followers. So I had like 60,000 followers on TikTok prior to Beyonce. Yeah. But I did that. And then randomly also during that time, all the Atlanta movie stuff was happening. So I was like, this is how you book movies and this is how you do that. And that got me to like 80K. Yeah. And then I think an extra 20 was me and Aaron dancing. And so like people were just interested in this girl. Like she's doing everything and she's unapologetic about it. But one day I was in Atlanta and he doesn't even know this, but my guy friend at the time, and he's a big actor as well. Yeah. He told me, he was like, you sound just like Beyonce. And I was like, what are you talking? Like, shut up. And we never talked about it again. This is 2021. He said it and we laughed it off. Then I started hanging with a group of friends once I got back to St. Louis. And they would always be like, girl, are you trying to make yourself sound like Beyonce? And I was like, what are they talking about? And it was just a thing. I was like, okay, this is like the second or third time I heard this. What are we talking about? And then I got on live with a friend, and the guy who had said it back in 2021 said it on the live, and he was like, Aaliyah sound like Beyonce. And I was like, okay, let me just play. Like, I'm on the internet all day. Let me play. Beyonce had just dropped Break My Soul. Okay. She didn't drop the whole album. She just dropped that as a single. Yeah. And everybody was like, oh, Beyonce's for the LGBTQ community. And that was just like a huge thing that was happening. And so I was like, you know what? Let me just like make a video talking like her. People were obsessed. Like immediately, I think it had like 500,000 views. And I had seen those numbers, but I had never seen them that fast and at that capacity about like me talking. So I was like, crazy. What do we I don't even sound like her for real. Like y'all being annoying. And after I realized that went crazy, I was like, Aaliyah, you dance, you act, you do all these things. So why not make a skit of how Beyonce, and I had this blonde wig I had just worn for my birthday. And so I was like, put the wig back on and play. And so I went down to my mom's basement at that time and I started like dancing. It was like, y'all not getting it. Y'all not getting it. Y'all not hitting the steps.
Some classic Beyonce.
Like classic Beyonce. And I don't know why, but I had been watching Homecoming so much. So it was like that divineness.
That's your
people
favorite.
Don't even
It was amazing.
It was so good. But people don't even know how divine a situation can be until it's right in your face. Because I had been flooded with Beyonce prior to me even like, and that was probably the most I've been flooded with Beyonce because I always loved her, but that like in my face, it had never happened. It never existed at that capacity. So I did that and 1 million views in one night. Her mom had liked it. It was this big thing where everybody was talking about it and I was getting posted by like all her fan pages and I was like, oh, I'm the bomb.com. Wow. But this is 2022. So like, I'm still broke.
Yeah.
Let's keep it above, man.
Beautiful, but I don't got the change.
Yeah.
So it was one of those things where I saw those numbers and heard everybody saying it was good, but I just kind of kept going about my life. I would throw more Beyonce videos in here and there, and her album had dropped. So I was like prepping for tour, but I didn't know a single song on there before it had dropped. So I was like faking what I think would happen. And it's so wild because some of them were completely accurate. So people would be like, no.
And that's the Renaissance album, right?
This is the Renaissance album, yeah. And even if we go back, how I was just talking about Tiffany, when I talked to Tiffany in person, she asked me to do the voice. And when I said something, she was like, you're not going to believe me, but like, this is exactly how she talks to you. And she was like, this is exactly how conversations happen.
I love it.
And it's so wild because to this day, I feel like there's so much connection between me and B, even though I've worked with her.
Look at you saying you and B.
Right.
That better be your best friend, girl.
Hold on. You just threw this real good nugget. You've actually worked with her.
Yes, I have. Oh. When she did Renaissance. Yeah, when she did Renaissance. And a lot of people, I guess because I don't know, I act weird about social media and stuff, but when she first did Renaissance, I got invited by Lexus to go work with her Be Good fundraiser that they like. It wasn't direct association with her, but it was.
And we talking Lexus, the car.
Yes, the car brand. Cool, they invited me. They gave me free tickets. They gave me 3 free tickets to sit in the front of her concert.
Nice.
So
did you just say nice?
Y'all said at the same time. Twins.
Man. I wish you was Beyonce talking about some. Hey, well, I gotta be like you. Freaking Chris Brown. We alike somewhere in the atmosphere, in the ether.
It's coming, Jay.
Like it's so insane because there's so many similarities of just us. Period. Like I love astrology, but we're both Earth signs and we both have Libra risings, and I'm like maybe that's why I'm able to like hit it. Yeah, but then. I guess Beyonce not being the only one, and me by 2023, I was like, okay, I start getting paid. Like I was like, okay, this is my job. I mean, come on. Like this is my job now. Like, cause I would get little sponsorships here and there, but they had nothing to do with Beyonce, and they had nothing to do with voice acting, and I didn't really know what I was doing, and I was getting paid, but it just wasn't like substantial, and it wasn't consistent, and so. 2023, I was like, you know what? Let me just try other voices. Because not only had I done Beyonce, prior to Beyonce, I would do like Zendaya videos. Yeah. Because everybody would tell me I remind them of Zendaya. And I don't know what it is. I think it's just because we danced in high school and like all, young girls that go after their dreams.
Yeah.
They get that comparison. But I would act like her in videos and that would blow up. And people like, she's just like her. Like, what the heck? And so I was like, you know what? Let me just try any voice. And boy, I tried Hallie's laugh. It worked. I tried saying something like Lois Griffin. It worked. And then I think I will find little things. But one day me and my brother were talking and no, it was me and my sister, Ranice. We were talking and she said something and I acted as if I was Riley. Cause we was like, if Boondocks was on today, man, there would be so much going on. And so I was just like, some Riley voice. And she was
you
like,
got to do the voice now. Come on.
Wait, now? I thought we was going to save it for later.
No, I want to hear it.
We deep in story. I'm all engaged.
You can't just, but see what she did was she gave me a little crumb and then took it back. Like, no, I want to.
I don't even remember. I don't remember what it was, but I think it was like, we were talking and I was like, yeah, because Riley be like, Granddad, that's so gay. Like, and she was like, what the heck? But it's so wild because I guess we're so used to each other being talented that we just fly by it.
Just do it.
We just fly by it. So like we'll say, okay, but then nothing else from that. But I was like, Aaliyah, that was kind of good.
It was really good.
I decided to take it to social media. I started with Riley's voice and then Huey, I didn't realize he was kind of easier than Riley. So he'd be like, Riley, that's not right, Riley. Like, and I started really noticing Regina and just how she would do certain things. And at the end of the day, I'm an actor.
Yeah.
So I love watching actors act and just the distinction she would make between the two characters and stuff like that. So I wanted to take the same approach and I love writing stories.
Yeah.
So I would make up fake things and scenarios and that Drake and Kendrick beef had just happened.
Yes.
And everybody thought I took Drake's side because I was Riley and Huey. But I was like, I actually am very indifferent. And it's so wonderful to be like an influencer because people think or let me say a voice actor, because people think like, oh, if she say this is her thoughts. Like when I'm saying stuff with Beyonce, they're like, this is your thoughts. And I'm like, actually it's y'all's. Yeah. I take everything that y'all say and repurpose it within this voice. Like all the time. Even when it came to Hallie and when I would do her voice and when it came to her and her guy, DDG. I had no idea what was really going on, but I'd be like, don't go to that Daryl. And like laugh like her. But I had no idea what was going on.
Hey, this is so hilarious.
It's crazy. And the more that I guess I would get into the voices, like Hallie said something. I actually met her at an event and she like pulled my hand and she was like, cause she was leaving out, but you could tell that she knew. She grabbed me. Yeah, she grabbed me. But she has commented on like videos and DDG has commented on videos. Beyonce's publicist DM'd me and she was just like, we all love you. And I was like,
that's amazing.
But it's wild because prior to that, I was like, I know they know I exist, but like, when am I going to get the confirmation that they know I exist? And it was when they brought me that package.
Yeah.
And so I was like,
I love that.
I'm in there. Like, these are my people. These are my people. And they enjoy what I do. And I don't feel like I'm disrespecting because that was the thing I was really scared of. Them feeling like I was disrespecting.
That's a big thing though, because you said you can tell that they enjoy what you do, which speaks to like, you first got to enjoy what you do though. You enjoy doing it. I could tell.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
The way that you give it off and when we watch it, it'd be like, yeah, she having fun doing it. It's like effortless.
Yeah.
Almost like, so kudos to you. That's amazing.
Thank you. My favorite thing is when people are like, get a job, blah, 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 blah. I'm like,
I don't even know.
They'll never understand.
It's
people
so
that say that
fun.
would never understand.
And I like, that's why I like throwing little nuggets here and there. Like I actually moved and got to do this because of this, like this job and this place. In 2023, my entire life changed. Just from, I think my mom has such a fear as an entrepreneur that like, oh, I hope she makes it. Like she's so talented, but being talented isn't enough.
Yeah.
Because there's so many talented people in this world that don't have the avenue and they just go completely over our heads. And I think she was so scared of that. But I finally was just like, I got it, Mom. Like, don't worry. Because she was like, you sure you don't want to go to school? Like, you could just take one class, just something to fall back on. And I'm like, girl, did you have one class to fall back on? And I think that was her fear because it's like, I know what I had to endure and go through. I don't want you going through that as well.
That's all of our parents. Every creative's parents. My parents did that to me. They wanted me to have that safety net.
Yeah.
That's why we were talking about earlier about, dropping out of school and all of that. I left early because I knew school wasn't for me. I wanted to make sure I graduated high school, but I knew I didn't want to go to college. But I went to nursing school. I minored in psychology, actually.
Nursing school.
So
here he goes with
you
that.
You a hater, man.
Here he goes with that BS again.
She is a hater. But no, I minored in I majored in nursing, minored in psychology. And so I'm big on like just learning people's brain and how they think. And so hearing your story and how you went from, I just want to, create and do all these things because you're a natural born creative. And then you went to Grand Center Arts Academy, like a school full of creatives. Is it safe to say it's like the Juilliard of St. Louis?
It definitely.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. I would definitely.
Yeah.
They're going up against like CVPA, but like
I was going to say CVPA, but they're neck and neck.
Yeah.
It's so dope to hear that because that, like, we've shot at that school a bunch of times. And so to just see all these different creative kids in all these different ways. And it's good to hear that you're one of the most well-rounded creatives that I know. Like,
and that's just what she's mentioned. We don't know what else she's good at on the creative end that she hasn't even mentioned yet.
Like, for real. Because it's been years. Like, we've known of each other for years. And I've watched literally just the growth of your numbers. And I'm like,
I know everybody was like, how the heck does she have this random 100,000? Like, because I had 3K in one day, 50.
Boosted.
One day, 75. And
crazy. And I'm like, hey, but as a fellow creative, I'm also not surprised because I get it.
You get it.
It's like, it makes sense.
Because it's that 10-year mark. This is when you're supposed to actually. This is because everybody thinks it's overnight, but that when you hit that 10-year, and it's so wild because nobody really believes. But that theory I believe in heavily because I've watched it. I've lived it.
Yeah.
And I think really that 10-year mark is you determining that this is bigger than me.
Exactly.
No matter how much I love this, if I don't do it anymore, I've given up on myself.
Exactly.
Forget these people.
Yeah.
Like, this is what I love to do.
Yeah.
And I think by that 10-year, the universe just be like, God be like,
there it is.
It's you.
There it is.
It's you. You have to. This is yours.
And that's a true testament because a lot of people be focusing on that 3 to 5 year mark because we talk about most businesses, every business, like you really don't get into the stride and start seeing a profit till that 3 to 5 year mark.
Yes.
But like you said, as a creative, 10 years, 10, iPhone 4, sand and mason jar. Please remember that part because I ain't gonna forget.
You should write a book called Sand and Mason Jar.
There it is.
Sand and Mason.
Look at it. Look at these creative juices flowing right here.
Take this part out.
I love it.
That's so
I love
beautiful.
it. Sand and mason jars,
That
man.
is so good.
So, Aaliyah, have there been like any pressures of being in the industry or having a certain type of group around you? Has there been any pressures to be more or less than you are?
Ooh, that's, you know what? I never
question.
check this
I
type
like
of,
that.
because that's a wonderful question. That's what I struggle with the most. My proximity awareness and how I determine what is good for me and what is not. And I've had a lot of core people around me for so long that sometimes I'll see little things and be like, oh, this doesn't speak to the version of me I am now.
Yeah.
And I feel so superficial about it. I'll feel like, oh, am I not wanting to show up for you based on this, based on social media, based on that? But it's like, I now have a brand to protect.
Right.
And unfortunately, my brand is a watched brand, you know? Because most people's brands is just like my work. When I go to my job, I'm professional.
Yeah.
But like, my job is every day.
Every single
Every
day.
day, 24/7, a person could see me today and be like, oh my God, and that happens so much. And I'm just like, where was I at when that happened? And that matters to me the most because it's not that I don't love, I believe in complete duality. I believe you're supposed to go out, party, do all that, but at the same time, be in your bag, in your goals, and your dreams. And so I'm never the type to tell you, only be this. I'm not gonna blindly motivate you.
Yeah.
But I also know there are so many things that can take you off your track.
Yeah. Easily too.
Easily. This year for me has been probably the most still year for me mentally. Because I am so used to just work. But I've put a lot into people this year, friends and relationships. And I'm just like,
has that been intentional or it just kind of happened that way?
It wasn't intentional at first. I've never been the type to put people above my work. And sometimes you don't even notice how selfish you can be as a creative, an entrepreneur, because it's like, this is where I want to go.
Raise your hand. There it is. There it is.
Like, it is intense and it makes you really feel bad. And I'm a 22-year-old. So that like fear of people abandoning you, leaving you is so deep ingrained in me. And I always feel like, oh, people don't like me because of this. Instead of just saying, you know what? Stop. Like, I get so in my head about just being an influencer or entrepreneur, especially in such a small town. It feels like, oh, do I just think everybody's competing with me? Or is this actually an intentional feeling that I feel and this is my discernment telling me?
Yeah.
And that is really hard for me because those people that met me at 15 didn't know 100,000, 300,000, 400,000 followers.
Exactly.
Right.
And it changes a lot. It really does.
Yeah. You will continue to grow and evolve, and that dead weight will continue to shed.
Fall, yeah.
And you'll either pick up newer people that can pour into you, that are actually smarter than you, that can teach you things that you don't know, which is a beautiful thing because that's what you want.
Yes.
You're this huge light. You have this huge aura around you. And even though I love my city, don't get it twisted, but you're so much bigger than St. Louis. And I can comfortably say that without offending anybody. And I don't really care, but I'm like, you are just so much bigger and grander than what this city can offer you or even accept, because again, they're never going to understand all that you encompass. And in order for you to be at your highest, you're going to have to flee. You're going to have to.
You think so?
In her position, yes.
Okay. That's good.
Yes.
Now speak more about that though, in her position. Because it's a lot.
She's an actress. She's a voiceover talent. And even though she may be signed to other companies outside of here that can book her, you have to think about she's also a director. So there's other things that she does that she can make millions off of outside of here. It's not just on some commercial level. She's a director. She probably wants to direct films. Like, she's a singer. She probably wants to do, that too. Like, I've done a little research on you. So just a little bit.
I'm so grateful. And because you can go feeling unseen. A lot of times. I think I've felt especially because I've only been out of high school for 5-ish years now. Yeah. And so in that 5-year span, people it's crazy because I feel that way mostly with family. Because it's like you don't understand the amount of time that this took, that I was doing this all by myself. Yeah. Like, and I mean, even my mom will attest, that girl didn't ask for anything and she wouldn't. And it's really scary sometimes when I feel like you are only my peer because I live here with you. Yeah. Only you're my peer because I live in this city. But on a real grand level, we wouldn't ever cross paths this way.
Yeah.
And so it built a lot of animosity about things I would never have animosity about. Yeah. Like, it's like when you play with the same toy with somebody and that makes them think, oh, we are enemies or we're best friends. And it's like, not really. Yeah.
We just happen to share the same toy.
We just happen to share the same toy. Yeah. And so it's a comforting thing in ways. And I love St. Louis for it, but I'm so grateful that I'm able to travel so much for work.
Yeah.
And experience life.
I love it. So how often do you travel?
My last city was Houston, but I was just in LA. I went to TikTok headquarters and We talked about brands I work with. I work with Pattern Beauty, Tracy Ellis Ross's brand.
Nice.
So
Nice. Okay. Did you meet Tracy?
no, I didn't meet Tracy, but I met 2 of her board members, and they're
Nice.
so wonderful. Like, they're such a small company, and there's so many women, black women.
Come on now.
It was so wonderful meeting them too. They're so kind. And then I've been working with Pizza Hut for so long. I'm sure you guys have seen that. But yeah, I started working with them in 2023. I think. Yeah. So they flew. Well, no, I started working with them at the beginning of this year. But it's weird how we've been working together since, because they took me to a Femme Forward event, which was a Grammy pre-party event. Okay. And that's where I met Halle Bailey. But everybody was there. Halle Bailey, Coco Jones.
Oh,
I'm like blanking on names, but it was so many people.
Coco Jones.
You love Coco Jones, boy.
She's the woman.
Hey, Coco, if you're watching this.
And she was in person, she was even more beautiful.
She
so
is
beautiful. But everybody was so beautiful. It was just so black.
Yeah.
Like, I get like,
oh, yes.
I get so intense about it. So it was so, and they had a whole bunch of black influencers. So me and the girls, we've been so close since, because they just are wonderful influencers. So like, we comment on each other's stuff. Hope you're doing good. And all of them live in LA and I didn't. And that's a whole nother story. But my manager, she goes so hard for me. Like, she lives in New York, but she's been my friend first.
I was going to ask you about management, if you had management.
Yes. And she was my friend. I think we started being friends when I first moved to Atlanta. Nice. And she had nothing to do with management. She didn't even know what that was. Like, she was working under a whole different company. She's only 2 years older than me. So that's
really?
Yes.
So you have a 24, 25
She's
year old
24.
24-year-old manager.
And she wasn't in management before
me. I was her first client. And I asked her. She was managing.
You saw something in her.
This is crazy.
But it was so crazy because we both did. It was so crazy because we both did. And we were friends of a friend. So like that person didn't really work out with us. So we became closer and
see how that works?
Like, see how it works. And I'm so grateful for the girl who brought us together, because it's like, this woman has been through everything with me. She ended up going to the Beyonce concert with me because I was like, come in town. She was like, I have to be. So we went to that. And then she outreached to Pizza Hut. So that's how I work with Pizza Hut, because she was like, Aaliyah, you have the numbers. You have this, you have that. All that it takes is for somebody to take you serious.
Yeah.
That's it.
I work with Honey Pot Co. since her, Pizza Hut, Pattern Beauty, Ulta.
Wow.
That's amazing.
I worked, I get to blank out. I'm working with Kiss right now, which is like one of my biggest brand deals. And they're
huge.
So kind.
I love that.
Yeah. And I used to be obsessed with Kiss nails growing up. Like, you would see me in press-on nails bad. Like, I was that French tip from Walgreens.
Classic Kiss.
And so it's so dope seeing like the turnover of so many things. Or Pizza Hut. When you could get those personal pizzas for reading.
I swear, I was fake reading all through elementary.
I told you they just passed him.
You wasn't good. You wasn't good at that school.
He wasn't good at that school at all. He was there for the pizza.
I was fake reading.
I was
fake. What was you doing? Synopsis?
Boy. That was when Goose. So look, I'm gonna tell you how it happened. That's when the bookmobile will pull up. You know, I'm getting first off, I was selling we was doing the whole candy thing, selling the sugar and the Kool-Aid in the Ziploc bags. Make a little money off of that. I've been an entrepreneur forever.
You've been a real one.
Forever, take it back. And so make a little money off of that. I got some money for the bookmobile. I don't want to read nothing important. So I'm like, Goosebump books were the only cool thing on the bookmobile. Let me get a Goosebump book. And then the teacher they never asked like, what was it about? Give me a summary. They were just like, how many pages did you read?
Really, Jay?
10,
really, Jay? You were
20.
conning the teachers for the free pizza.
They didn't do their due diligence to make sure that I read. It's not me. I'm the victim
They're
here.
not going to have you do a book report on the freaking book. That's 10 pages. They're not going to have you.
Man, them Goosebumps book was like 150 pages.
That's true.
That's a lot.
Well,
I'm like 9. You hater, dude.
You wanted that pizza.
But weren't you like a spelling bee champ? I feel like you could read.
So here's the crazy thing. Fun fact. I am the guy. I do not like I've actually never read a whole entire book in my life.
That's a fun fact.
So I'm I am
How fun is this fact?
we talked about
It
this.
gets better, I think. I don't know.
We talked about this with a couple people on other episodes. Like, it's almost ADHD-ish with being a creative. My brain doesn't sit still, and I feel like you'll understand that. So, like, words on a page, they don't do it for me. I'm actually jealous of like the people who the Lord of the Rings and the Harry Potter, like,
That's me. I'm that
we have a
person.
whole book series and this and that, and it's the character. They got a whole thing on TikTok like book boyfriends or something.
I'm on that side.
You in there?
Boyfriend?
Oh my God.
I am a book
They got
girl.
it's a
Is
whole
that
nother
how
world.
I meet a man?
Yeah, honestly.
I'm
It's
going
a
to the
whole nother
library
world.
tonight.
And so listen, so with me, I do not, I try to read books. Like, I'm a reader, don't get me wrong.
You try to read books?
So it's the literal fact of it being a book. I'm a reader. I read and I consume
You read
knowledge.
contracts.
I'm a reader. So I'll make sure that contract right. Because when people hear that, they be like, wait a minute. You're not smart. I'm like, no. I'm overly smart. My brain goes faster than my mouth can read the words on the page. So I'm a movie guy.
You lost me when you said overly smart. You lost me.
Man, shut up. I am a movie guy. So I know all the movies under the sun. I could do quotes all day. She know I just be randomly saying
It ain't
quotes
nothing
and
to brag
stuff.
Okay,
about.
question. Have you seen the Leonardo DiCaprio version of Great Gatsby?
Yes, I have. Okay. Yes, I did. I had to think about it for a second. I need a champagne glass right now so I can just toast it.
Jay-Z, we love you for that one because
Great.
that soundtrack is insane.
I do have a question though, because when you were talking about management, how important is it for a person who wants to follow in your footsteps and do the influencer thing and all of that? How important is it to have a manager? Like, can they make it without one, or do you feel like you have to have a manager in order to make it, you know, to superstar status?
I'm terrible at networking, so I
I love that. Be honest,
I
because
am
people
so
don't
honest
know.
with that because I would have never made it if it wasn't for her. I literally asked her because I was like, look, if somebody emails me, I'm not checking. I'm not looking.
You see?
I'm terrible at it. Like,
That's what I got her for.
Yeah, you just know. And I always tell people, like, go this way. Go side by side. It's a quote. Issa Rae talks about it a lot, but people want to work up and down way more than they should. Because it's like, you're not ready for that next person, but you think you are. But if you have this one friend who every time you're around her, she's able to do this and talk to this, ask her. It's nothing to ask.
That's true.
And
That is true.
I promise you, like, we would debate every day, like, okay, is this how you want to run the management? Is this how you want to do it? The next week she had like, it was just so wild knowing the experience because I would say, no, everybody does not need a manager, but everybody needs someone who picks up the part they're not good at.
That's good. That's good.
And you learn through time. And even though I got this weird thing where I think time really doesn't exist, I do believe that the more you understand, where do I fall off at? That's when you get that person to pick you up there.
Yeah.
So that don't always mean management. I know some people who, boy,
they killing it without management.
Boy,
For
they
real?
making more than me with less followers because people just know how to negotiate their own. And also, I don't really do the fashion thing that much. So like those girls, they make a lot because once a Pretty Little Thing want to work with you, which now I work with Pretty Little Things. So
Hey, come on.
But once they want to work with you and once they want to like, you know, have business deals with you, those girls can
Run it up.
navigate a deal.
Yeah.
I've never been that person. Even I would be like, they would be like 500. Can we please do like 600? This is like in 2022. So
Yeah.
I'm like 60,000 followers. You like, am I worth $600 maybe? And
I like that. So that's a good comparison. So in 22, you had 600,000 followers. You said?
I had 60,000. And this is just on TikTok. I think I had like 2K on Instagram.
And so you were getting $600 deal, well, $500 deals and pushing for $6 back in 22 with 60,000 followers because a lot of people don't be understanding like the number ratio when it come to that. They be like, oh, I got 20,000 followers. I'm gonna make $20,000 in a month. Like it don't work like that.
You'll probably make $20 a month. Go live on TikTok.
Listen.
But it's that serious. Like I was getting those type of deals like once, semi-annually.
Yeah.
So like think about that. Like I was broke and at that point, my last real life job I had worked was in 2021. So I told myself like, you got to figure it out, bro. Yeah. And like, if you don't, like, thank the Lord, I'm living with my mom and she's such this support. Like, I love that lady because she has allowed me to live with her. But like, I was like, okay, you only got so many more years where you can live like this. And by 20, I knew something has to pop off or she's going to be like, what are you doing?
What are you doing?
What are you doing? What are you doing? Because my sister, we always butt heads because she's had dreams and things, but she's that firstborn, so they have to also have that backup. Yeah. And they feel more obligated to have that backup.
Yeah, for real.
And we grew up with an entrepreneur mom, so she obviously is still doing entrepreneurial things, but she's a hustler.
Yeah.
For me, it's like, I'm a hustle different. Like, my hustle is going to be what I love. Like, it's funny how you talk about candy at school. Because my mom one day had us bring chips and candy to school to see, like, can y'all sell this? Yeah. My sister came back home, sold 2 chocolate bars. I came back home, only had 2 chocolate bars left.
I love it.
Like, we have always been 2 different type of hustlers.
What was the tactic for selling all but 2?
Me, it's funny because, people don't like Cheetos. They don't like Cheetos, but I was selling a mess out there. Once it got to the bottom of the bag, I was like, look, y'all. I'm telling you, I throw it for 50. I throw it for 50 cents.
It speaks to how good of a salesman you are. Because even how you saying right now, like, you don't like talking to people or you don't like doing a negotiation. You got a manager. But if push came to shove, you'll get out here and make it happen. Because I tell people all the time, I go back to cutting hair if I got to.
Yes. And I'm a barterer at heart. Like, if I'm doing something for you, there's so many of my friends where I feel like it is okay to know your worth. Yes. I want everybody to know their worth, but we get so caught up in the idea of knowing our worth. Yeah. That it's like, at one point, do you want to succeed? Because if you know your worth so much, you're just going to be knowing your worth. Here, I'm flatline here knowing my worth. Like, great. Yeah. But at what point does it take, like, you know what? I see that if I work with this person, they have the potential to do something for me. And then that takes me to another level. And then we go to another level. And that builds a relationship that you will never lose. Because you saw that person just like that person saw you. That's how I feel with my manager, Raina. And because most managers, they'll make you pay like flat fees for certain things. Yeah. Exactly. And she was like, no, like, this is what other people are doing, but I know what we can do for each other. We gonna
grow together.
And boy, have we grown together.
Raina is rare.
Hey,
like, she is rare.
I tell people all the time, it's so great that you say that because I can fully attest to that. When we first started, I was paying her in food. And I tell this story all the time. We met each other randomly on social media. And I was like, I'm going to start a podcast. This was the first one, not this one. We was going to start the Gender Project way back when. And that was doing good. She convinced me to buy a camera. I fell in love with it. Everybody knows me for cutting her. A year after I picked up that camera, I stopped cutting her, and I was just like, I'm gonna start a production company. Bro, what? How? Don't worry about it. Just know I'm gonna do it. It's all up here, but y'all gonna see it come from out of here into the world. Yeah. I started doing it. I started putting the plan in motion, and then it got to a point where I'm like, I need help.
Which is very scary from somebody that has a corporate background.
In a whole corporate job. She worked WashU or?
It was WashU the first, most of it. And then I went to the nonprofit sector.
And then you went to the nonprofit.
Yeah, no, that's scary because you're used to a certain amount of money every pay period. You're used to insurance and benefits and all these things. And to go from all of that to sharing the same food off the plate, like wait a minute.
Dead ass. I called her up.
You paid me in food, but keep in mind, I still had grown woman bills, okay?
I called her up one day because it got to the point. I am such a forward thinker and an innovator and just a sporadic, like, I'm going to do it in this moment. When I feel it and it feel right, I'm going to do it. I called up and was like, hey, you need to quit your job. Quit your job and come work for me. Because I hated admin stuff. And the way that you don't like talking to people, like, I don't want to do the networking thing. I hate an email. And it all day, every day, especially where we at now. I hate an email. And of course, emails started coming in and I'm like, okay, I learned from being an entrepreneur about delegation and having people in place and all of that. So I got to get her in here because I don't want to be that guy that like, he don't ever respond. He don't ever do nothing. So I can go from here and then drop down because nobody ever want to work with me. So I'm like, hey, quit your job. Come work with me. I got a whole plan. It's going to work. Ooh. Now we didn't even know each other for a full year.
Child.
And we like, yeah, well, you cool and all. We doing this podcast, but nigga, you want me to quit my job to come work with you? And you got a plan, but you ain't got like no financials to back up this plan.
You have concepts of a plan.
But I got concepts of a plan.
Baby, look.
And listen, but she came in and she believed in the vision. And it was just a like, all right, the pandemic helped because she got furloughed. Yes. Shout out to 2020. Right. And then me being the butthole that I am, she was like, Jay, they done just furloughed me, blah, 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 mixed in with a bunch of curse words. But you know, and I was like,
the best of the best.
And the whole time I'm just listening like, well, looks like you got no choice but to come work with me now. And so like she came and it was rough at first because
it was rough the first 2 years. Like, don't see, he sugarcoated it. No, he sugarcoated it a little
2 months.
It was rough at first.
Like a week of roughness.
I mean, we butt heads a lot. I think I quit 2 or 3 times because he was bringing in
first month.
He was bringing in people that didn't belong also. But then I wasn't getting the money that I needed in order to sustain as a person that had grown women bills. Keep in mind, I was kind of just getting over this divorce with divorce debt and all of that.
And he was old. Let's not forget that part.
So yeah, the first 2 years were rough. They were rough. Cause how candid can we be on?
Hey girl, this your podcast. Talk about it.
I don't think we started making a profit until like what, year 3?
Yeah, ish. Because it was a continual reinvestment back into
it. Which pissed me off. I hated the reinvestment. I didn't understand it. I'm like, hey, we just got $5,000 and you finna buy all this equipment? Like, I want.
Can I just get one K?
Oh, I was livid for many years about that, but it's working out, child. We here now.
We here now. So I just love that how you're talking about you had that friend that grew with you, and a lot of people miss that mark. And how long have you known her, or how long did you know her?
Before I asked.
Before you even asked.
I knew her because I met her in 2021. So or maybe end of 2020. It was 2021, 2020. So I'd only known her for 2 years.
2 years.
Yeah, 2 or 3.
And then she believed in you to grow. Because most people feel like, oh, I got to have my childhood friend who know me and all of that. But like, no, when you meet that right person and we met in
2019.
We met March 1st. Like February.
It was March, but because we dropped the podcast in May. So
we met March 1st of 2019, started the podcast May of 2019.
And then
I bought a camera July of 2019. Called her about a month later, like, hey, I love this camera. I'm going to start a production company. Yeah. And a couple months after that, I was like, you need to quit your job. She said, no. 2020 hit. We all know what happened.
Yeah.
Then she ain't have no choice. And boom, like we started this thing full time in 2020. And here we are now. Got the
studio in 2020.
Wow.
And we grew rapidly, like we said, because we reinvested. We put that time and that effort in. People just be seeing people like us now and be like, well, you know, you got it easy. You got, 100,000 followers. So it's easy for you. But they don't ever talk about what it took to get that 100,000 followers. They don't talk about the sand in the mason jar to get 100,000 followers.
Man, if you don't write that book,
because every time I hear it, it is the book. I have
to. In the mason jar.
You have to now because that's major.
It's major. And my favorite thing about doing social media is that like, I have gotten so detached from the numbers because they fluctuate. I go up and down, 2,000, 5,000 followers, and 2,000, 5,000 views. Instagram will do better than TikTok. Then TikTok will do better than Instagram. And it's like, if you sit somewhere worried about how everybody perceives every single thing you drop, you are going to go insane. Because I am a pivoter. I love Beyonce, but sometimes I'll be like, this week I don't want to be Beyonce.
Say that one more time.
I'm a pivoter.
There you go. Did you see the look she had at me? Because one thing I'm going to do is pivot.
Every time. It's a real entrepreneur spirit.
I pivoted 3 times just making this podcast alone. I'm like, I'm going to start a podcast back up. I'm going to bring you on. Wait, never mind. We don't need it. Nah, let's do it. Okay.
Yes. Because two heads are always better than one.
It is.
And the funniest thing,
two
my
of the
friends,
right heads.
like, yeah, 2 of the right heads.
I'm more of a planner. He's a pivoter. He's a strong pivoter. I'm a what do you want to call it? I'm a pivoter, but not like you.
Yeah, it's different.
I'm an adapter.
But you know what we call it? Balance.
Balance. The way both of your brains are just my brain, though, because I'm a planner. I'm a Capricorn. So, like, through and through.
I love a good cap.
Give me some. You love a good Leo?
Oh, you're a Leo.
No. Yeah, no.
What's your sign?
Cancer.
Oh,
Trash.
of course. We're sister signs. So that makes sense. But
nobody likes the Leo here, child.
Yeah,
No.
sorry. We don't.
It's okay. You guys hate to love us. It's okay.
Move right along. All right.
But no, beyond astrology, I really do. I take so much in my head first before I'm like, okay, this is what I want to do. But my friends, they are so annoyed by me because one day I'll be like, you know what? I'm about to do this. And then my manager, she hate me the most because she be like, Aaliyah, look. Like some weeks I'll literally get on the phone and be like, I hate it. Like I hate how I'm doing it. My voice doesn't sound like her anymore. People don't take it seriously anymore. And she'd be like, girl, only you are doing this to yourself. Like, and she'll be so calm and it will make me even more mad because I'm like, okay, maybe I was being dramatic.
Yeah,
maybe I was overreacting. But she is so calm and like reassuring because she has an ADHD brain first. So it's like if 2 of us are sitting on that phone with anxiety, then where are we going?
Yeah.
And we have that ability to calm both of you because she's a 24-year-old Black manager in influencing. She is not a company. She is one entity.
Yeah.
And I be having to tell her, you are fighting against entities.
Yeah.
And when she like throw it back on me, it be like we have the ability to just like bounce that off of each other. Like we have gotten to this point as 22 and 24-year-olds. She was just at Forbes.
That is
like,
that is so impressive.
Insane. You live in New York.
Mm-hmm.
Brooklyn. I always tell her, I'm like, you miss big money.
Yeah.
Like, I might make money, but it's because of you. Like, you don't even get it. And you're a 24-year-old something. I think she's like 25 now, so she probably gonna beat me up too. I'm back. Once we get to these 20s, it's like, what age is really good age?
Right, we don't even know.
I turn 23 next month. Like, what? So
wait till you hit your 40s. You really don't remember nothing.
none of us know our ages. But just seeing that is like, it's overwhelming because it's like, this girl is so talented.
Yeah.
This girl is so amazing. And she pours that right back to me. And like you said, the people around you, my friends don't live in St. Louis. My 2 best friends, one lives in Chicago and the other lives in Houston. So a lot of that pouring is like us being on the phone.
Yeah.
You know, and getting on that phone call every day and just being like, how you doing? We could be going harder. That's all. We love to we could be going harder each other. What you doing right now? Why you ain't doing?
I love that versus the girl, guess who I saw? Or she had on, like, it's a totally different conversation when you're around
and like I said, duality, people. We still be messy.
Oh, yeah. No. Don't get it twisted. Gotta throw some mess in there. But there's balance.
But but strong, like, if we talk about strong core, like, if you were on the phone with us, that you would leave that phone like, dang, I got to get on my Zoom.
Yeah.
Because there's just so much that the sky is the limit for us with everything. We'll watch a show and be like, bro, that's like law of attraction. Like, that's like, everything is divine with us.
I love it.
Everything means something, even if it doesn't. And so I think that matters the most, being around like-minded people that make you feel good.
Yeah.
Because it's okay to have that friend here and there that's for that. Like, I used to get in arguments with people because they were like, we only Aaliyah club friends. And it's like, you are. Like, when I'm ready to party, you are a great person to party with. Yeah. But there's nothing really about you that motivates me within my job.
Yeah.
And that's not a bad thing all the time. It just means we aren't equally yoked there.
There it is.
Yeah.
Like, we can fall back from each other there.
I definitely compartmentalize my friends.
Yes,
so I get that.
Yeah, you don't have no friends.
That's because they all compartmentalized.
You don't have any compartmentalized friends.
They in the back.
You have 0 friends. Who name 3 friends?
I got you and Ben.
No.
Perfect.
Me and Ben don't count. No,
Ben.
outside of me and Ben.
You can add me today.
Mike Cole.
Don't say
Aaliyah.
No.
Jesus.
No.
You can't argue with Jesus,
I
man,
know,
my
argue
friend.
with
You can't go there. He pulled a fast one.
All right, so listen, I got a question. Well, I'm gonna take it back to the impersonation thing because like a lot of people definitely love you and know you for that. Mm-hmm. And of course, we cannot have you on the podcast without bringing it. So you gave us a little hint of it, but how many impersonations have you learned or know that you can do now?
Most of the time, it's like I can say a word, like I can do a thing. Like I found out I could do Rihanna when she's like, "I'm not looking for a man. Let's start there." And she's talking to somebody. I don't know, but that's like my favorite video. And it's just, I wouldn't say I'm like a celebrity impersonator or a person, but it's like a dialect thing. Like I love trying just new voices. So let's go down.
Let's do it.
Beyonce.
Okay.
Halle Bailey. I can do Chloe Bailey sometimes. It's like little things she does. Both of the Freeman brothers, Riley and Huey. Lois Griffin some days. Meg Thee Stallion is one that people love. Yeah.
Meg
Zendaya, depending on the day. More so how she talks, not what she said. Like, oh guys, I am so excited to be here. She does that a lot with her face, and so people love that. But yeah, I'll like find a voice randomly and be like, oh, sounds good. I've done like some of the Kardashians, like, this is so boring and we are so ready to go home.
So good.
So that's like so Chloe.
Good. That's definitely Chloe.
So it just, depending on the day, I'll find things that will be like, whoa, that kind of sounds like that person. But Beyonce, I think she like, low-key lives within all of them. Yeah. Like people would be like, this just sounds like Beyonce being Halle Bailey, or it sounds like Halle Bailey being Beyonce. Or so I think what I've learned also, because I've really started going to like dialect classes and taking, time to figure out how to do the things really that I like to do. And they say all the voices you do live within you already. So like all these voices already existed before. So imagine that talent. Sometimes I'm like almost in awe of the things I can do when it comes to voice acting. Cause it's like, who knew Riley and Huey were inside of me?
Did you go to the dialect classes once you realized that you could do these impersonations, or was that already something like in your bag too that you wanted to do?
Well, in high school, I took one dialect class and it was like okay, whatever. I used to do improv when I was in high school. So I was improv kid, Missouri State thespian. And I learned what it was like to do like a French accent. I played a French maid in high school. And I think it made me want to understand like the uhs and the goose and the like, what are all these things that I'm saying and how does my tone change? But a dude had made a video of mine, like he's a dialect coach, I believe, but for singers. Oh. And he was so in awe of my video that he made one and like was like, she's doing this. And so I was like, am I? I don't even know what I'm doing.
He broke it down.
And so when he broke it down, I was like, I want to actually figure out what I'm doing. And I think it just made me interested. But I think it'll help me so much more just acting, period.
Oh, yeah. For sure.
So that was
I like that.
Dope. So in all the things that you have going on, young lady, how do you replenish, Aaliyah? How do you recharge?
That's good.
I love meditation. And I'm like a gym bro, but really it's just me walking on the treadmill for an hour.
It still counts.
It counts so much. I tell people, if you do 1 hour of zone 2 cardio every single day, your life will change.
I'm trying to tell you.
It will change.
Yes.
Like, and I didn't even realize because I grew up very athletic. Like I didn't tell you guys, but I was a pre-professional dancer up until the age of 16. So from 12 to 16, I was pre-professional. And I didn't even realize like how much I was doing with my body until I didn't do it anymore. Yeah. And I was teaching myself how to like do everything. And that's like a big recharging for me is like meditation. It's it's really not stupid, but like drinking water is a big thing for me. Like I take time with myself just to drink water. Like, and I get made fun of it.
What's your favorite water?
The crystal geysers, the like big
spring water, huh?
Yes, spring crystal geyser water. What you like, purified?
I sure do. I sure do.
Exactly.
Or tap. Missouri has some of the best
We
tap.
have the best tap.
I'll give you tap, but
take
purified?
it right under the sink.
Baby, that's what this is.
Yeah, I'm a tap girl.
Missouri's finest.
We have amazing water.
We do, but I do like purified. Spring gags me. I can't do it. I can't do it.
I love me some spring water.
Love spring, but see...
we won't single her out, you know?
Please
I'm
don't.
definitely going to single her out.
It's okay. I've been here before. Fine.
But I definitely, I'm a spring water girl for sure. But I'm like a jug in the house. People see me pick up a jug and I'm like, Aaliyah, what are you doing? So like,
gallon a day.
That's me. And then now that painting, I love to paint. Paint and
You're
Legos.
a painter as well.
I'm a painter, yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
It's almost what do you? The easier question is what don't you do?
You're right, because she
love
makes good oxtail too.
Yeah,
so you can cook?
I hate to put that out there because people are going to want them from her now.
Yeah,
so.
I love to cook. I didn't used to, I wouldn't say, because cooking is one of those things where you just either do it or you don't.
Yeah.
But I didn't like to cook. So I didn't know how.
I hate it now.
But boy, do I love it. But I think I went through like a stage, like I had a little guy fling for a minute. So you go through that stage where you're like,
yeah.
let me cook. And so
cook for bae.
Exactly, cook for bae. Like I'm like, maybe this is a skill I need to have. And then I realized like, okay, it's fun actually. I actually like what I'm doing.
It's relaxing,
So without them, I still want to do it. And I'm beyond that, honestly, just going to sleep. I love sleep.
How to get that rest and recharge.
Me too,
I'm such a walking contradiction, man.
Because I used to not be able to take naps.
For real?
It used to kill me. Seeing people take naps would make me so jealous. It used to fuel me.
That's literally me currently because my brain, I'm jealous of nappers and sleepers because I can't do either one.
Ooh.
My brain don't stop working. And
have you tried like meditation before you go to sleep?
I've tried it all.
You tried it all?
And I think it's also because of the season. I think different seasons affect people's brain differently because like if they could put the little sensor things on my brain right now and like gauge my activity,
you would explode.
It'll be red. It'll be so red and like high functioning, so much electricity going through my brain because of like the transition that I'm in right now. Wow. But yeah,
is it I think it might be an anxiety thing because you work out every single day, don't you?
No.
Oh, you don't?
No.
I thought you worked out.
I give it a good 2-3 times a week, but I haven't even been able to do that in about 2 months though, because of the transition that we're doing. Like we've introduced the podcast. You know, I'm transitioning out of photography and I'm going into teaching, which a lot of people don't even know.
Surprise.
So, you know, it's a lot that's happening behind the scenes that people don't know about while still making sure bills get paid, payroll get taken care of.
Because
and all
I will
that.
confine his ass.
Yeah. She at that point, she ain't just working for food no more. Yeah. So gotta make sure that she get paid. And so it's a lot that's happening, but I get super jealous of nappers and sleepers because I'm like, I wish.
I wanted to do like a nap date. I haven't done one of those yet.
So fun.
It's
nap
really fun.
It's so fun.
Wait, you've done a nap date too?
So listen, it's a thin line.
Because it's really not a date until it was like, oh, we just took a nap together. Like
until it happens. Yeah, you didn't realize it was a date until it happened.
Yeah, you don't really plan it. You're like, oh, okay, we both were just sleeping. And then we both woke up and
it was like
it was a good time. And you look over at each other. Oh.
Like, I like that.
How are you?
Okay. Hey. It can't be planned. Okay.
It can't be planned. It's like
got that.
Soothing.
Got it.
I love it.
Soothe yourself. But I've gone through the same thing of just like not being able to sleep. That's why I said this year has been so still for me because I finally took back my like power over myself. Mm-hmm. Even if I don't make the same views and I don't do this and I look like I'm not working as hard, that's okay because I'm finally pouring back into myself. Since I was a middle schooler, I haven't. Since I was 12, I haven't taken a year to be like, this is about Aaliyah.
I love it.
It's been about, how can Aaliyah achieve this? Like, it's never just been
you.
Me.
And I love that. I love to hear that. So make sure that you take care of your body. Take care of yourself.
And tell yourself that.
I am. I'm talking to the camera, but the camera is really talking to me. I'm looking at myself.
Oh, okay.
Take care of yourself.
So put church in there. So we know it's
church.
Church.
Make sure you take care of yourself. Get the proper amount of rest, water, vitamins, and nutrients. You know?
That's what life about. That's what life is about.
Anyway.
No, so okay. I wanna go into our favorite section now. We like to call this our rapid fire slow burn section. A lot of people are always wondering, like, you know, what is that? And we never tell y'all when y'all come. So rapid fire slow burn, we're gonna ask you a series of questions that we just want you to answer the first thing that comes to your mind. All right. And based on your response, we'll either let it ride, rapid fire, or we'll ask you more questions and create a slow burn from it. You down?
Fun. I'm down.
You like it?
I'm like scared, but you know, I'm into the intensity.
I didn't get a little nervous.
I am very nervous.
Knees weak, arms heavy.
Come on, Jay.
Okay, fine.
God, he's annoying.
You want to go first or me?
You go ahead.
I think I always go first.
You're right.
Ladies first.
Thank
the
you.
lady's choice.
You see me? I'm a gentleman.
He's a gentleman today.
Tip your
All
hat.
right. Finish the sentence.
Oh, snap.
I'll be glad when.
I'll be glad when. Yikes. Okay.
I know, right?
This is intense.
It is.
Because I'm glad right now. But I'll be glad when I know that I'm not worried about where my next paycheck will.
It's good.
I don't feel like I am now, but it's just, I mean, anxiety.
Yes.
I'm thinking I am set for the full year, but I'm still thinking about next year.
Yes.
So,
it happens.
I'll be glad when I don't think about money.
Okay. I like that. I like that. All right.
All right.
I got one for you. I'm on screen. What's some of the worst advice you've ever been given?
The worst advice is not going after my dreams.
And somebody actually told you don't go after your
Someone
dream.
told me the worst advice for me was I need to go get a regular job.
Was it a family member?
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
It normally is.
Of course.
Yeah.
Were they a lot older?
Not necessarily. They would be like in the 40-ish, 50-ish range.
Yeah.
So
that's about right.
It's what they know.
Exactly.
Yeah,
that's a big thing. Like, we can take a little bit of a slow burn with this. Like, that's a big thing. Understanding where a person is at when they give you the advice, because a lot of people, we quick to just talk about, oh, you just scared, or they're projecting their fears and all of that, when that may be just literally what they know.
Yes.
Because my parents did the same thing to me. And they're both entrepreneurs, but it was that whole, like, you need to focus on nursing school.
Yeah.
Make sure that you get that degree so that blah, blah, blah. And it's like, I know I'm going to make it as a creative. I know I'm going to be good. And so we got to always consider the fact that, I mean, I'm not going to listen, but I also understand where you coming from with it. So it ain't too bad. I'm not mad at you for that.
Like,
so,
yes, because it was a big thing always that I didn't feel like I was an adult.
Yeah.
Or like I would be toggled in that zone of like, oh, she do childish things because she's still going after this social media dream.
Mm-hmm.
But boy, when it blew up,
Yeah.
everybody
Exactly.
was, you seen Aaliyah on the shade room?
Exactly.
You seen
That's
Aaliyah?
my
And
great niece.
man, that's my everybody was my cousin that day.
Oh,
Twice.
listen.
It happened twice. It was
Exactly.
my cousins back to back. And it was like, oh, dang, I didn't even know I had this many cousins.
It's funny how that happens.
Man.
What you got, Chi-Chi?
You guys are giving.
Yeah.
Any hidden talents?
Beyond the 85 you already
Right.
have.
I'm like, oh, God. I wish I didn't do voice impersonation so that could be my
And then we just pulled out cooking. So you couldn't even hold that one in.
Man.
But I know it's another one in there.
Yeah, it is.
Let's skip
Oh,
that.
I'm an amazing masseuse.
Oh.
We are
Yeah. Like people love I can make you go to sleep via my massage. I can change your whole day via my massage.
I swear that's me. I've
Yeah.
been saying that all the time.
Wow. Okay, that's
Yeah.
actually really good. That's good.
I mean, trying to make sure that was good.
That's good.
So I got one. If money wasn't an option, I would finish the sentence.
If money wasn't an option, I would probably live in the Pacific Islands.
Okay. Now, why the Pacific Islands?
Because I am Pacific Islander.
Okay.
But that's just, I only know that via my like ancestry, all that. But I always felt so compelled to them. And I've like grown this fondness of them. I was obsessed with Lilo and Stitch.
Me too.
I was more obsessed with Nani.
You alright with me, for real.
But I was obsessed with Nani, and as I've grown, people are always like, "You look just like Nani from the Lilo and Stitch." And I just love the tropic area. I feel good when I'm even my house. Like I make my apartment so humid that when people come in, it's like, Aaliyah, why does it feel wet?
Freaking rainforest.
Why do I feel like I'm in the rainforest? But it's like it's the only way I can breathe.
Yeah.
It's the only way I can like exist. And I just feel like if money wasn't an option, and I probably wouldn't go as hard on anything. Like I probably wouldn't do voice acting because people think I'm only here because I'm talented. Yeah. Honestly, I'm just here because I worked hard. I only found out these talents because I worked.
That's a big one.
That's good.
I only found these talents because how is she a pre-professional dancer, sign model, actor? It's not because I'm just so talented. I genuinely was like, whatever is going to get me to the top.
Yeah.
It's what I'm going to do. So if I just had a leisure life, I would live in the ocean.
Coming. It's coming. Yeah.
Yeah, the rate you going is definitely going to be here by 30. Where's she at?
All my friends are like, girl, because it's like it's a thing we always be like, you one of the Nia Longs and Gabrielle Unions and all that of the world. And so like, when you get there, you're going to be fine wine. You ain't going to worry about nothing. So
that's it. I love it.
Hopefully I'm like a rich auntie. I have no children right now.
Well, dang, never mind. It's your turn.
Go ahead.
Was that a question?
It's a slow burn.
So you just said rich auntie, no kid. You don't want kids?
We go back and forth. Because if we're going to talk about dating, I am in a zone where most men my age I can't even expect them to be where I am mentally, physically, emotionally, but really financially. I think that's a big thing. Like if a guy my age has a car, he usually doesn't have an apartment. If he has an apartment, he doesn't have a car. If he has it's just
not that
a lot of reliance on their parents.
And what's the oldest you would date?
Ooh, that's good.
Ooh. I never think about it until I feel like I go through a thing with authority, and I feel like older men usually try to be a daddy. And it's like,
ain't nobody doing that.
Don't tell me what's
gramps.
Okay.
That's how I be feeling about older women.
Try it.
Yeah.
Shut
Except
up, Jay.
I like
really,
when they
Jay?
tell me what to do.
Older ladies be trying to tell you what to do.
I let them. Yeah, I'm a Leo, so I'm a lion. What Jill Scott say? If you could tell me what to do, you can tell me what to do. But if you can't tell me what to do, you can't tell me. That applies towards men too. I love when older women be like, "Hey, come here,
go
do
pick
this."
Up that pie from
I
around
sure
the corner.
will, Miss Shirley. I sure will. I'm on my way.
That's so funny because I've only dated guys. Well, I've never had a boyfriend ever. So I
swear. Okay.
This is a good slow burn right here. I don't even want.
When I say weird, I've never had a girlfriend. I tell people that all the time. I be like, I've never had a real girlfriend.
Are you like a situationship god?
I not on purpose, but I've had.
So the one situation that was just a long.
It was a 5-year toxic situationship. I swear.
That was your woman, Jay.
I ain't never tell you about that.
Aaliyah, was that not his woman?
It was a 5-year toxic situationship.
I'm gonna be so annoying. But what was her sign?
Virgo.
What does that tell you?
Still got it tatted on my chest. Oh yeah, I got it covered up now. I ain't playing, but yeah.
I'm so sorry. That wasn't a situationship. Tatted on the chest. That was a relationship.
I was also toxic too, so I was doing very toxic things.
You were cheating.
Yeah,
that's why you call it a situationship, because you don't want the guilt of cheating.
We both were. It was so Mr. and Mrs. Smith.
Oh, that's so fun.
It was
Was it intense like that?
It was.
It didn't sound fun from the
They probably wrote that movie based off
a lot?
us. Yeah.
I love the vulnerability.
Like I got a poem called 1 a.m. Stalker.
It wasn't the vulnerability crying. It was that.
Oh, it's like that.
Past
I know I'm doing wrong.
Yeah, like, past
men,
the,
men make
punching
me
the
sick.
wall crying.
This is about to become a toxic podcast, guys.
It's not real, so it doesn't matter.
Hey, listen, I got stories for days, but hearing you say that, like you never had a boyfriend, I'm like, I never had a real girlfriend. The emphasis on real. It wasn't real.
It was real.
Okay.
It was fake.
It was real. He was a host.
I'm so sorry. Oh my.
It was real. What do you mean?
But I'm gonna tell you right now, the moment you pass a 1 year and a tattoo, I'm so sorry. You weren't in a situationship. You were dating her.
Thank you.
And you shouldn't even want to say situationship at this age.
I
don't want to claim it because it was so toxic. You don't want to claim it.
I wanted to be like, hey, we might as well make it. At the rate that I'm going and what I'm doing, I'm the primary on the kids' school. When something happened, they calling me. We might as well.
You were her boyfriend.
You were, Jay.
What
claimed
was the kid
her.
Calling you?
I claimed her. No, they were just calling me church.
Oh.
But it got to the point where they didn't even go to their daddy house no more. They was just like, we church.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah. What you mean? Why
we don't relate.
That? So you had one. You were in one relationship.
All right, fine. For the sake of the conversation,
and
I was in one.
Also, like, we're not similar because I'm sure you were the perpetrator. You know?
No.
Okay.
Maybe.
Mm.
All right, fine.
She was older.
Yeah, don't look at me
she
like
was
that.
Older though. Does that matter?
What?
She was older. So were you the perpetrator or was she?
Ooh. Men have the ability to still perpetrate as younger.
It was me. It was me. Because I saw her from across the room and I already came up with a whole plan.
He saw her with them jeggings on him.
Okay.
I was on
jeggings.
It was a long time ago.
I'm like, this had to be like 2011, 20.
It wasn't really jeggings. It was, she had a skirt on the night I met her.
Mm-hmm.
But I can't talk to y'all. But
it's a really good slow burn. I like this.
It was jiggling. And I was like, I had a whole plan. I was a butt man back in the day. It's different now. But then I'm like, she got a big booty. She was walking to the bathroom. When she walked back, if she got a cute face, I'm on her.
Mm.
It hit.
For 5 years it hit, huh?
So back to you, Aaliyah. Tell us more about this. The not dating.
All right, that's so
play
crazy
too much,
now that I think about
because you cooked for someone. But you weren't dating the man you cooked for?
No, because I didn't cook for him. I cooked for my family, but we were in a relationship at the time. So I was like, if I start learning now, possibly I could cook for him. But
I like that.
He did try my oxtails, if anybody's wondering.
Oh, he did.
He was so lucky.
Yeah.
He was so, after I deal with situations, I'm a little pretentious, just a tad bit overconfident. I was like, he is so lucky.
I swear I be feeling like that. If I cook for you.
But also I think through and through, I want to motivate my person.
Yeah.
And you can't pour into somebody when you aren't fully, when you don't feel poured back into.
Yeah.
And so I kind of get that a lot where I don't really jump into relationships because I want to be poured into. I've done a lot on my own, as we said at the beginning of the podcast. And so I don't care if you have all the money. Actually, I do. Please give me money. But
that would be nice.
It would be wonderful because I have gone the route of just thinking, I don't care if you have any money and blah, 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 blah. And those men tend to be the ones who their chest hurts a little bit more when they see, oh, she doesn't need me.
Yeah.
And I realized the biggest thing a man wants to be is needed. In any capacity. I don't care if you yelling at me every day. If you still need me, I love that.
Do you think men and women need each other?
I think it's such a beautiful thing because, everybody isn't heterosexual, which is beautiful. But I think when you are getting into a situation and you don't really love yourself as much as you think you do, that need and necessity for that other person is real.
Yeah.
And it is going to it's always funny because the biggest relationship trope we always see is the anxious attachment and the avoidant. And I'm usually, I would say I'm very in the middle.
Okay.
I'm not really anxiously attached to anything, and I'm not avoidant. I will have a conversation with you, but I get my feelings hurt more so often because I'm a conqueror. If I want you and I said that's what I want, I'm going to get you. And you might not be what I want once I realize I got you.
There it is.
And I am very upfront with the fact that, okay, maybe I'm going a little too fast because I'm like, okay, I need my first boyfriend. I need some blah, blah, blah. But then after a while, by the grace, I believe it be God every time.
Every time.
That person usually pulls out and I'll be okay. What I don't like is when after the pull out, they'll play a game. Men love to play games with me.
They do.
It's like convince themselves that they're better than me.
Why you don't pull what you pointed us for?
It's too men down here.
Man, we ain't even do nothing. We just sitting here.
Yeah. But it's an ego thing. It's so egoic because it's hard to see this person that let me leave their life, let me come into their life. Because when you really ain't tripping over somebody, you'll let them come in and out. Okay, go by your day. Because I want you when I want you too. We equally here right now. So I deal with that a lot. And I'm getting out of that zone of like, feeling like because I ain't had a man, I need a man. Because one, St. Louis ain't that much to offer. I ain't gonna lie.
But you're right.
But two, I like my age range of men. And so I'm not gonna just date a 40-year-old man just because I can't find a 22-year-old man. And going through that back and forth of, and usually my guys are older, like I said, like, so they'll be 24, 25, and it's still like, oh, but I live with my mom, and that's fine. I don't be caring, but they care.
Yeah.
And so when it's like, oh, I'm going to her crib, she the one booking this, she the one doing that. Like I had a guy where I was booking the Airbnbs and hotels and all the fun stuff prior to me being at my mom's house. It was like I know his chest was like, oh, I don't got. He told me to. He just was like, I don't feel like I have to work for anything when it comes to you. But one thing about me, I'm gonna motivate the heck out of you. So if you don't do anything with that motivation, I can't. That's not my job anymore.
And that be the part.
Yeah, that's not my job.
The women,
anymore.
y'all will motivate the hell out of us, but when you're dealing with an insecure man, there's no amount of motivation that will help him see who he really is or what he's capable of. So
and
I'm glad you get out of them
until you leave them.
And then they want to play games.
Because
they find all that motivation and audacity to come back around.
Listen, I once dated a dude for 6.5 years. The last 3.5 years of our relationship, he refused to get a job. He dropped out of school, all the things. He was basically a bum. Dumped the dude, and he went and got 2 jobs. I couldn't get him to get a part-time job when we were together.
Stop.
Dumped the dude, and he went and got 2 jobs.
And they get a new girl too. They get the 2 jobs and the
Good luck, baby girl.
Stop it, because that was a big thing with my last situation. I didn't feel like you were motivating me to immediately out. They're doing exactly. It's like
okay. Yeah.
It's the lack of accountability.
And it's a lack
me.
You really realize it's an energy thing. The moment you fully pull your energy off of that person and wanting to, like, because it's even the want. I want to see you win. Stop it. They can live their life without you pouring into them. Yeah. And like, I finally got to that point where it's like, I don't care. Win, lose, or draw. You're going to live your life. And that's when they be like, please.
Please, baby, please.
I didn't realize. I just
because the other 2 or 3 people they're talking to ain't doing what Aaliyah was doing. She's motivating you and making oxtail. That's all I'm saying.
There it is. So, speaking of food, oxtails, there's a part where I like to talk about nuggets. We like to have what's called, you see how I transitioned there? Boy, my segue game is on point.
The dude back is wide as this room.
We like to have what's called a NARP nugget. All right. So this is a point in the show where we want you to just leave the people with something inspiring, influential, knowledgeable, whatever you want to tell the people. I want you to look right at that camera and drop a NARP nugget on the people.
I thought about this. You cannot overly love people into loving you. And you cannot overly pour into people if you have not poured into yourself. Take care of yourself and it'll allow you to take care of everything around you. You are the sole creator of your reality. So if you do not take yourself seriously, nobody else will.
There it is. Hey,
I like
I'm
that.
all right with that.
I like that.
So listen, thank you guys for tuning in once again to Not a Real Podcast. We are so happy to have Aaliyah Weston on with us today.
Yes.
What'd you say?
I was agreeing.
Oh, okay. I thought she said
It was
something
like
smart.
That was such a wonderful yes. Like you have such a raspy tone.
She do. She got that
I think
voice.
it's so,
She used to be a life coach, and so she be
I
doing
do
this.
voiceover too, Aaliyah,
Of
but
course
it's more
you
on the
do.
anime, the youth side because of my tone.
It's
my
so
pitch.
wild because you are
I
so
never get
beautiful,
to
but you
end
look
the
like we
show
could be related
like
a
I
bit.
want to.
I'm
Am I like
Cameroonian.
delusional?
Well,
She
I'm
always-
practically
really?
mostly
Okay.
Cameroonian,
Okay.
but
And
yeah,
she
I
gonna
think so too.
always
Yeah, it's the
say
slanted
sweet
eyes,
songs, the
the
slanted
cheekbones.
eyes, the
and then
nose,
start
like
the
yes, the wide
conversation back
smile.
up
Yes,
again.
isn't
Let me
us?
find out.
I'm
Let me
just
find
trying
out.
to
Are
get
we
my show.
related?
But they go keep on talking like they can't do this afterwards.
Sorry.
I just want to eat the show. Oh, they done. Okay, so thank you guys for tuning in. We will be back for another episode of Not a Real Podcast. Peace out.
Wait, make sure that you like,
Jesus.
comment, and subscribe to the channel and this episode, and let us know if you want us to bring Miss Aaliyah back.
I get the end. No, I'm just
End it.
playing. Thank you guys. Have a good one.